Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring...
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. We're exploring how the massive shift to remote work has totally reshaped the tech landscape, especially when it comes to like managing servers from afar and keeping everything secure.
Yeah.
You know, it's more than just Zoom calls and working in your pajamas.
Definitely more.
We're talking about like the behind the scenes revolution in business IT.
Absolutely. It's you know what's really fascinating is that the pandemic forced companies to adapt their IT strategies practically overnight.
Yeah.
It wasn't a gradual transition. It was a sudden leap into the unknown.
It really was like flipping a switch.
Exactly.
So before we dive into like all the solutions and stuff, let's clarify what remote server administration actually means for those of us who aren't like IT wizards.
Okay, so imagine being able to manage and maintain your servers from anywhere, as if you were physically present in the server room, installing software updates, monitoring performance, troubleshooting issues, even deploying entirely new servers, all done remotely.
So it's like having like a virtual IT team.
Yes.
They can just like teleport to any server in an instant.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
But why is this approach so crucial now in the age of remote work?
Well,
Couldn't we just stick with the old methods?
The traditional methods simply wouldn't work.
Okay.
In a world where IT teams are scattered across cities, states, or even countries.
That's true.
Picture trying to physically access a server when your IT expert is working from home hundreds of miles away. It's just not efficient or practical anymore.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Now, the source material we looked at highlighted flexibility and efficiency as major benefits.
Huge benefits.
Yeah, huge benefits. But can you kind of like paint a picture of how this plays out?
Yeah. Yeah, so imagine an IT professional working from their home office.
Okay.
They receive an alert that a server in a different time zone is experiencing issues. Instead of hopping on a plane, they can connect to that server remotely.
Oh, wow.
Diagnose the problem and apply a fix. All within minutes.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not just about convenience for the IT team.
Yeah.
It directly translates to like a better experience for everyone who relies on those servers.
Absolutely.
And the source material also mentioned improved scalability.
Yes.
And cost efficiency.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit further for us?
So remote server management allows businesses to scale their IT infrastructure up or down on demand without the constraints of physical location.
Wow.
Need to add more servers to handle a sudden surge in website traffic. No problem. Can do that remotely.
Oh, wow.
Need to decommission old servers to reduce costs.
Okay.
Again, done remotely.
That's incredible.
It's really flexible.
Wow, it sounds like remote server administration is like a game changer for businesses.
It really is.
Of all sizes.
Yeah.
But how does all this magic actually happen?
Right.
What are the tools and techniques that make this possible?
Well, you've probably heard of Remote Desktop Protocol, or RDP.
Okay.
It's commonly used to access Windows servers remotely, allowing you to see and interact with the server's desktop as if you were physically there.
So that's how they create that illusion of being in the server room.
Exactly.
But what about security? Isn't it kind of risky to open up your servers to remote access like that?
That's where virtual private networks, or VPNs, come in.
Okay.
They create a secure, encrypted connection over the internet.
Okay.
Essentially building a private tunnel for your data to travel through.
Wow.
So even though you're accessing the server remotely,
your
connection is protected from prying eyes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's reassuring. But RDP and VPN sound a bit like basic tools.
Well, yeah, I guess.
What about more sophisticated solutions for like larger, more complex setups?
There's a whole world of server management software designed specifically for remote administration.
Okay.
Microsoft System Center and VMware vSphere, for example, are like powerful control panels that give you a comprehensive view of your servers and allow you to manage everything from one central location.
So it's like having a virtual command center for your entire server infrastructure.
That's a good way to put it.
What about that automation aspect that we discussed earlier?
Right.
How does that fit in?
So that's where configuration management tools come into play.
Okay.
Tools like Ansible, Puppet, and Chef are truly revolutionary.
Wow.
They allow you to automate many of the repetitive tasks involved in server management, ensuring consistency across all your servers.
So instead of manually updating software on hundreds of servers,
Right.
you can essentially push a button and have it done automatically across the entire network.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It not only saves an immense amount of time, but also dramatically reduces the risk of human error.
That makes sense.
And remember when we talked about scalability?
Yeah.
Configuration management tools are essential for maintaining consistency and control as your infrastructure grows.
It sounds like these tools are indispensable.
They are really helpful.
For any company embracing remote work.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about cloud-based servers? How do those fit into the picture?
So cloud-based servers are managed through dedicated platforms like AWS Management Console from Amazon Web Services or the Microsoft Azure portal. These platforms provide a web-based interface that allows you to manage your cloud-based servers just as you would with on-premises servers. You can monitor performance, adjust configurations, deploy new servers, all from a single location, regardless of where the physical servers are located.
So it's like location agnostic.
Exactly.
Whether your servers are in your office basement or floating around the cloud.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You have the tools to manage them remotely.
Exactly.
But with all this remote access, security has to be
absolutely.
top priority, right?
Yeah, robust security measures are paramount when it comes to remote server management.
So what does that look like?
It starts with strong authentication mechanisms, like multi-factor authentication, to ensure that only authorized personnel can access the servers.
So it's not just a matter of having...
No, it's more than that.
Like a strong password.
Right.
There are multiple layers of verification to prevent unauthorized access.
Yeah.
What other security measures are crucial in this context?
Well, encryption is another critical component. It scrambles the data transmitted between you and the server, making it unreadable to anyone who might be trying to intercept it. Think of it as putting your data in a locked safe that can only be opened with a specific key.
So strong passwords, multi-factor authentication, encryption.
Right.
It's all about adding layers of protection.
Absolutely. Layers of protection are key.
Anything else?
Well, access controls are essential.
This
means limiting who can access which servers and what they can do once they're in. Not everyone needs full administrative privileges.
Makes sense.
And of course, regular audits are important to ensure that everything is working as intended and to identify any potential vulnerabilities.
So it's not a set it and forget it situation?
No, not at all.
It's about ongoing vigilance and proactive maintenance.
Precisely. Think of it like securing your own house. You wouldn't just lock the front door and call it a day, right? You'd have an alarm system, maybe security cameras, and you'd check your locks regularly to make sure everything is secure. Remote server management requires a similar layered approach with constant monitoring and adjustments to stay ahead of potential threats.
So it's like having a virtual security system for your servers.
That's a good analogy.
But speaking of threats, I think it's time to shift gears and talk about the bigger picture of cybersecurity in the remote work landscape.
Sure.
So we've talked about securing the servers themselves. But let's zoom out a little bit. How has this shift to remote work changed the overall cybersecurity landscape?
Well, with remote work, the traditional perimeter of a company's network has essentially vanished. It's no longer about protecting a physical office building. It's about securing a workforce that's accessing sensitive data from countless locations, often on personal devices with varying levels of security.
It's the security fence around company headquarters.
Exactly.
Has been replaced with a million tiny fences surrounding each employee and their devices.
Too much.
So how do you even begin to manage security in this kind of environment?
Well, this expanded attack surface is a real challenge, but it's not insurmountable. The key is to adopt a multi-layered approach that combines technology, policies, and training.
The source material mentions some pretty scary threats. Like ransomware phishing and data breaches. Can you break those down for us and explain how they've become even more potent in the age of remote work?
Let's start with ransomware. Imagine you're working from home, and you click on what appears to be a harmless email attachment. Suddenly, all your files are encrypted,
Oh, no.
And a message pops up demanding a ransom payment to unlock them.
Oh, gosh.
That's ransomware?
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, it sounds terrifying.
It is.
And I imagine it's even more effective when people are working from home,
It can be.
perhaps on less secure networks.
Yeah.
What about phishing? How has that evolved?
Well, phishing attacks have become incredibly sophisticated,
Okay.
often mimicking legitimate emails from trusted sources, with remote workers relying heavily on email communication.
Right.
It's easier than ever to fall victim to these scams.
Yeah.
A single click on a malicious link could give attackers access to your entire company network.
So it's not just about being careful about opening attachments.
Right.
It's about, like, scrutinizing every email.
Yeah.
Even those that seem to come from trusted sources.
Exactly.
And what about data breaches?
So, when employees access sensitive data from various locations and devices,
Yeah.
it becomes much harder to track and control that data.
Okay.
A lost or stolen laptop,
Uh-huh.
a weak Wi-Fi password at a coffee shop,
Right.
or even a simple misconfiguration in a cloud service.
Okay.
Any of these could lead to a major data breach.
It paints a rather unsettling picture.
It does.
But are businesses just supposed to accept these risks as the cost of remote work? What can they do to mitigate these threats?
That's where remote cybersecurity services come in.
Okay.
They offer a comprehensive suite of solutions designed specifically to address the unique challenges of securing a remote workforce.
Okay.
It's like having a dedicated team of cybersecurity experts working around the clock to protect your company's digital assets.
So rather than trying to handle all of this in-house, businesses are turning to specialized providers who have the expertise and resources to stay ahead of these evolving threats.
Exactly.
What exactly do these services provide?
Well, they use a variety of strategies and technologies.
Okay.
One of the most important is proactive threat detection and response.
Okay.
This involves using advanced tools like artificial intelligence and machine learning to analyze network traffic and identify suspicious activity before it can cause damage.
So it's not just about reacting to attacks after they happen. It's about predicting and preventing them in the first place.
Exactly. Being proactive is key.
That sounds much more effective.
It is.
What else do these services offer?
Another key feature is 24/7 monitoring and support.
Okay.
Think of it as having a security operations center constantly vigilant, ready to respond to any alerts or incidents that might arise, regardless of the time of day or night.
That peace of mind must be invaluable for businesses.
It is.
Especially those with limited IT resources. But different companies have different security needs.
Of course.
Can these services be customized?
Oh, absolutely.
To fit those specific requirements?
Flexibility and scalability are key benefits of remote cybersecurity services. They can be tailored to fit the specific size, industry, and risk profile of each company.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution?
No, not at all.
That makes sense.
It's about finding the right level of protection. Without being overly restrictive or breaking the bank.
Exactly.
Speaking of cost, are these services only accessible to large corporations with deep pockets?
Not at all.
Okay.
While there's certainly a cost involved, it's often more cost-effective than building and maintaining an in-house security team. Especially for small and medium-sized businesses.
That makes sense.
It's about leveraging the expertise and resources of specialized providers without the overhead of hiring a full-time security staff.
So it's like outsourcing your cybersecurity to the expert.
Exactly.
But let's get into the specifics. What are some of the key strategies that remote cybersecurity services use to protect businesses?
We can break it down into a few core areas. First up is endpoint security, which focuses on protecting the individual devices that employees use to access company data. Laptops, smartphones, tablets, and the like.
So it's about securing each of those tiny fences we talked about earlier, making sure each device is as protected as possible. What kind of measures are involved in endpoint security?
It involves ensuring all devices have up-to-date firewalls and antivirus software, as well as implementing strong password policies and using encryption to protect sensitive data stored on those devices.
So it's a combination of software policies and user education. What about the network itself? How do these services secure the infrastructure that connects all these devices?
That's where network security comes in.
Okay.
It's about securing the pathways that data travels on, making sure the communication channels themselves are protected.
Right.
This involves using firewalls to block unauthorized access to the network, implementing intrusion detection systems to identify and alert on suspicious activity, and using VPNs to create secure connections for remote workers. So you've got these strong firewalls acting like a gatekeeper.
Yeah, like a first line of defense.
And then intrusion detection systems act like security cameras.
Yeah.
Constantly scanning for anything out of the ordinary.
Exactly.
What else is involved in this layered approach to security?
Data protection is paramount.
Okay.
This is about making sure that sensitive data is protected no matter where it resides.
Right.
On devices in the cloud or on company servers.
So even if someone manages to breach the outer layers of security, the data itself is still protected.
Exactly.
How is that achieved?
Encryption plays a key role here. Scrambling the data so it's unreadable without the proper decryption key.
Right.
Access controls are also crucial, limiting who can view, edit, or delete sensitive data. And then there are data loss prevention solutions, which prevent sensitive information from leaving the company's control, whether intentionally or accidentally.
It's a comprehensive approach, covering all the bases.
Yeah, it tries to...
But with all this technology in place, is there still a role for the human element in cybersecurity?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, employee awareness and training are arguably the most important aspects of remote cybersecurity.
What?
Even with the best technology in place, a single careless click on a phishing email can undo all those efforts.
So it's not just about building higher walls. It's about educating the people inside those walls to be more vigilant.
Exactly. Remote cybersecurity services often provide training programs and simulated phishing exercises to help employees recognize and avoid common threats. They teach them about password hygiene, how to identify suspicious emails, and what to do if they encounter a potential security incident.
That makes perfect sense. Turning every employee into a cybersecurity advocate seems like a smart strategy.
It is.
But with technology evolving so rapidly, what does the future hold for remote cybersecurity services?
Well,
that's on the horizon.
The future is exciting, with a lot of promising developments in the works. We're seeing a shift towards cloud-based security solutions, which offer greater flexibility and scalability. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are playing increasingly important roles in threat detection and response. And there's a growing focus on zero-trust architectures.
That last one sounds intriguing. What exactly are zero-trust architectures?
So traditional security models often operate on the assumption that anyone inside the network can be trusted. Zero trust flips that on its head. It assumes that no user or device can be trusted by default, regardless of location. Every access attempt is verified and validated, ensuring that only authorized users can access specific resources.
It sounds like a much more stringent approach to security.
It is.
But it also seems like it would be more complex to implement.
It does require a shift in mindset and a more sophisticated approach to security. But the benefits are significant. In a world where cyber attacks are becoming increasingly sophisticated, Zero Trust offers a more robust and resilient security model.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Oh, glad to hear it.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the nuts and bolts of remote server management to the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity threats.
Absolutely.
It feels like we've only just kind of scratched the surface here.
Yeah, just the tip of the iceberg.
But it's clear that remote work has created a whole new set of challenges and opportunities in the realm of IT and cybersecurity.
Absolutely. It's a whole new world. What's important to remember, though, is that these challenges aren't insurmountable. By embracing the right tools and strategies and a proactive approach to security, businesses can thrive in this new era of remote work.
It's almost like we've been handed this
glimpse into the future.
It is.
Where work is no longer confined to a physical office. But the success of that future depends on our ability to adapt. And to secure our digital operations.
Absolutely. Security is paramount. And this raises an interesting question for all of us to consider as we navigate this new terrain. What are the potential downsides
Right.
or unintended consequences
Right.
of this increasing reliance on remote technologies?
That's a thought-provoking question.
It is. It's something we need to think about.
As we become more reliant on
Yeah.
remote servers, cloud platforms, and
Huh.
interconnected devices,
Uh-huh.
what new vulnerabilities might emerge?
Exactly.
What impact might this have on our privacy or even our social interactions?
That's a whole new set of considerations.
These are questions we need to grapple with as we move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
The future of work is here, and it's remote.
it is.
But it's up to all of us
Yeah.
to shape that future responsibly,
Right.
ensuring that it's not only efficient and productive,
Mm.
but also secure and sustainable.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Another deep dive.
A deep dive into the world of remote work, server management,
That's right.
and the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity.
It's a fascinating topic.
Stay curious, stay informed, and until next time, keep exploring the depths of knowledge with the deep dive.